Hello! So, we're back in Flight Simulator 2024 once again, and in front of us this evening we have the Skyward Simulations Cessna Citation Sovereign Plus, which I didn't know was even in development until a couple of days ago. So we're going to go and have a look around it with the drone camera. I think it's going to be fair to say straight away this is the best glass cockpit business jet in Flight Simulator 2024 by quite some distance, and you will probably think the same once you've had a look around it with me. So I am still learning it. There's a lot to learn. So yeah, we'll go and pan around it slowly with the drone camera. I'll just speed the drone camera up a little bit, and then we'll come around and have a bit better look in detail. Just before we go too much further, let me just check the volume levels. Yeah, you can hear me. That's good. I mean, the level of detail is absolutely ridiculous. There is no stone that's been left unturned. I'm just going to make my way slowly around the aeroplane with you, and then we'll come down and look around it in detail. At some of the modelling is just next level everywhere. See what I mean? It's by far the most impressive business jet I've seen so far. Okay, let's go and look inside some of these panels. So all this stuff works, by the way. Let me just have a quick look over here. I've gone and opened all the doors and all of the hatches just so you get to have a look at them. We'll have to go around and close them all afterwards. You don't often see this level of detail, do you? It's very clean, I'll give them that. It's remarkable. The level of modelling going on here is absolutely remarkable. Obviously we'll have a good look at the cockpit while we're flying it, but you can see it's really nicely done. Everything's very clear, everything looks real. The cabin's done really nicely as well. It's got tables and obviously all the seats. I think you can interact with the tables. We'll come back down with the normal view in a moment. Obviously with the drone camera you can't. So I'm immediately being asked in the live stream, would I choose between this and the Phenom? I don't know yet because I've not flown this in anger yet. I've played around with the systems enough to find my way around it. My first impression is this is vastly superior to anything else in 2024 in this class of aeroplane. It approaches the Hot Star in X-Plane. It is that good. So I'm going to turn the Xbox controller off that I've been using for the drone camera, and then we'll go and jump inside. So we're back inside. We're going to pop open before we go into programming things and meddling around with the aeroplane, let's go down through the cockpit and have a look around properly. So most of this is, as you can see, interactive. So pretty much every door, everything you can open, or everything that looks like it should open, can be opened. It's slightly crazy, really. Including essentially every drawer of every unit. There's all sorts of little Easter eggs hidden around it. You know, things that you can find inside things. Oops, I've just managed to click something else here, which I didn't know I'd done. Okay, I've opened some stowage there. Rather interesting. It's obviously an emergency feature there that I've gone and activated. I didn't even know you could do that. Anyway, hopefully I haven't broken anything by doing that. No, it's a pump, isn't it? So we come back down the aeroplane. It's a microwave. You can open the microwave door. It's just absolute madness, isn't it? Bottle full of bottles of water. I'm going to have to go around the other side of the door to get to the... Excuse my ham-fisted management of the camera around the cockpit. And bottles of plonk to go and drink at some point, I guess. Snacks. Plates. Glasses, or tumblers even, knives and forks. It's just madness. Look at the level of detail. It's ridiculous, really, but impressive at the same time. So there's the tableware, cans of drink. In here we have some uniforms. Oops. And more uniforms. So anyway, enough jumping around the cockpit. First things first then, there's a tablet in the aeroplane. And within here you can go and in settings, I'm sure lots of people are covering all of this in their videos, so I'm not going to go into too much depth. But there's even things like choosing what Wi-Fi system provider you can have for the passengers. It's madness. Lots of options to do with simulation. There's third-party options, obviously Navigraph and SimBrief are in here. You can do CPDLC integration with VATSIM beyond ATC and SAE integrations, SAE intentions, which is really good. So if I go into, let's go and close all those doors first. So I'm going to close all the doors. I'm going to leave one of them open just to show you something rather clever. So we're going to leave the GPU door open. That's the door for the GPU, not the GPU itself. So on the ground outside, you can see I've still got covers on the aeroplane. You can walk around and do them. So if we go and have a look, I can go and click on them as you normally would. Each one is independent. And you do hear the clattering of the turbines, which are a bit loud. They probably need to tune some of these bits and pieces. And then obviously if you jump inside, then that goes away. So I've still got the pitot tube covers. Look, I missed one. So if I go and do that, and then we can go into payload. So before we go further with that, then let's go to the flight, and we can import from SimBrief, and it'll pull the OFP in. We can go to the weather, and we can fetch the weather from SimBrief, and it will show us obviously the same reports you see in your operational flight plan normally. Charts we can obviously pull from Navigraph. So we're taking off. Now I'm going to manually do the flight today, just to compare it against flights I've done in the past. So if we go Echo Golf Sierra Sierra, and obviously it's got shortcuts here, look, as well, which is quite cool. Search, and then departures, we want BKY6R. So there you get that, and you can show it day or night view, which is quite cool. So that's, you know, kind of what you expect to get these days. If we come back to the OFP, that's fine. And it gives you a nice little preview there as well. I presume that allows us to expand that out. So while we're in flight, we get the a nice view of the route. And you can drag that around with the mouse as well. And I've managed to go and get it stuck. There we go. I'm a champion at breaking things. Okay, so it's got checklists built into the tablet. It doesn't have any documentation with it yet. And the... wrong button. the in-sim checklists are not developed yet. Whether they're going to do that, I don't know. It'd be nice if they did. So I will be writing up a functional procedure to help me remember what order to do things in properly. But anyway, beyond that, we can go through here, we can go to payload, we can import the payload from SimBrief, so you just saw the airplane sag. And you can see that we've got people in the back of the airplane now. If we go and turn around, and we can see we've got a cabin full of people. They're different people every time, I know, because I've tried. We can go in electrical and check the status of the batteries. We can check, it does use consumables, so we can refill the hydraulic system, for example. The vanity service, so we've got water. We've got the oxygen as well, of course, so we can refill if they are depleted. It's all quite... And obviously that works in concert with the doors you could see outside, so you can see that on, you know, the actual gauges as well. Beyond that, yeah, I think we've kind of covered everything there we need to for the moment. Okay, let's go, and we can pop the yokes down so they shorten. They've borrowed lots of ideas that have been really good in other aeroplanes and expanded upon them in lots of cases. So we're going to turn the batteries on. I love that they've got that cavitation sound. In fact, I'm going to turn the sound up for you until I'm going to use Say Intentions today for air traffic services, but I'm going to have the sound turned up so you get to hear all the cockpit sounds, because they are really very impressive. Okay, so we'll go and turn on the electrical interior stuff. We'll also, just to show you it happening, we'll go to services, and we want to go to ground, and we'll get the ground power unit attached to the aeroplane. If you remember, we had on the access page, we left the GPU door open. So having connected the ground power, we've now got it available here. So that can come on. So you can bus tyre has closed, look. So there's an awful lot of automation in the aeroplane. Something that threw me for a while, I was looking around overhead, whoops, for the nav lights. It's automatic, so it's similar to the Honda Jet in that regard, but you can control it. So I'm just going to go and turn on some things straight away. So seatbelt signs on, passenger safety lights on.
TOS system test, okay.
And we'll go and arm the emergency lights while we're here. We won't do anything else just yet. So you can see some of the avionics suites come on. we've got a full set of initialization to go do. There's a ton of functionality in this thing. Okay, so we're sat on APU. We're sat on the external power at the moment, so we don't have to worry so much about getting the APU up and running really quickly. I just wanted to show you around some of the functions, really. Should we go and get our flight plan programmed in before we go and start getting the airplane ready properly? So we're going to work through these initialization tasks. That you don't have to do them in a specific order. It does try to take you into flight plan before you get to take off, obviously, because flight plan will tell you what runway you're going to be going to. So weight and fuel, we can go and leave that as it is. We can go to payload and just check it. It's probably okay. We can go to take off and sync it with the fuel on board, and we can go to landing data, and it's probably okay, and go next, and that will bring us into the active flight plan. Now, the reason this is probably going to make a fool of me now and will work, we should be able to pull from SimBrief. I've not been able to get it to work, and I don't know why. I'll show you where it is. If you go to the home screen and you go to services and ACARS, you should be able to go to flight plan request, and it's saying to me failed to fetch flights. I don't know why. So I'm going to go and program the flight plan myself. So we'll go and add the origin, which will be Echo Golf Sierra Sierra, and press enter. Add the destination, Echo Golf Papa Hotel. Yeah, I burnt basically an hour this evening trying to figure out why that SimBrief flight plan will not load into here, and I could not get to the bottom of it. So anyway, we'll go and select our departure, runway 22, and procedure, departure, we want BKY 6 Romeo. That's all looking good. You can preview it as well, so if you zoom out slightly and preview, show on map, you can do that if you want, which is quite cool. And so we can load that, and it loads it into the flight plan. Then we can skip down the flight plan, go and select Edinburgh. And we can do this, there's obviously lots of ways you can do these things. So just selecting Edinburgh, you can manipulate it. You can click on destination and select your arrival runway. So we'll go runway 24. I've already checked the wind. And you can select your arrival as well. So we want AGP E1E, that's absolutely correct. So we'll load that into the plan. We can come down and go add an en route waypoint, and we'll put the Trent VOR in. So it's saying duplicates found, press enter, we can say Trent, so that's put that in the route. So we're essentially done at that point. If we go and look in VNAV, we can say VNAV is enabled, FMS speed, we'll go and speed that up a bit and say 180 at least. Knots 180, enter. Resume. Interesting, I didn't know it was going to do that. Okay, anyway, so we can see the climb performance data, cruise data, descent data, maximum cruise and descent, transition level. Yeah, we'll figure all this out along the way. I'm not going to program absolutely everything today. It's just suffice to say there's a lot of functionality hidden away in this thing. Okay, so if we go back into utilities and initialization, we've done the flight plan, we've done the weight and fuel, we can do the takeoff data now. So we're taking off runway 22, weather, we can load the METAR, we can use the air temperature, we can go to runway, which should be correct, takeoff config, should be correct, and we can accept the speeds, and it's saying check flaps obviously because I haven't moved the flaps yet, but we haven't got any systems running. Okay, so we go next. We can go and do some checks around the aeroplane. the whole thing comes to life and starts buzzing and vibrating everywhere. Okay, they're all done. And then I'll do the HF1. I'm not sure what HF stands for. I'm sure somebody in the live stream will know. It takes it a few seconds and then it will come up saying pass, and we'll do the same for HF2. From what I've seen so far, like I said, my first impression is this is by far the best glass cockpit business jet in the simulator. It's almost approaching the hot start Challenger from X-Plane. Okay, so if we go back from that, that means everything is now ticked. We can accept the initialization, and then we can have a look around in here. So I'm sure you've seen systems like this before in various other aircraft. It does everything. It's pretty ridiculous, really. So you can go to aircraft systems, we can get a summary, and it shows you the summary statuses. We can see hydraulic charts, we can see the fuel and electrical. It's all live data, by the way. We did the system tests. We've got cabin management as well in here, where we can play around with the lights and the shades and everything else. Exterior lights. So I mentioned earlier, a lot of this is automatic, so this is where you can turn the navigation lights on and off, for example. Okay, so I think, oh, you can play around with data link as well. So this is where you would connect your CDPLC up. So you could obviously connect it first, and then you can have the conversations via text with air traffic services. We're not going to do that today. I'm trying to at least keep some sort of lid on what we play with. So if I bring the map back up, it's worth saying all the split screen functionality works brilliantly. So you can go full, you can go and split it again, and then the left stalk pushes either way. So if you wanted to control what's on the right hand screen, for example, let's see if I could even click it, there we go. So you can see the focus is on the right hand side now, so we can control that independently. Go back to traffic. We can then flick back to the left one, do the same again. Obviously you get independent zoom in and out either side through that same method. It's just really fully featured. It's good. The primary flight display, you get control over the range of the display down here. The controls for that are on a little tablet down here. So if we wanted to change the range on the traffic display there, we can do that quite easily. There's the baro knob, obviously. Same for the co-pilot display, they get exactly the same controls. Okay, should we go and start getting this aeroplane up and running? So we probably need to... Actually, we're in a business jet. We don't really need to do engine start permission, do we? Not in the same way that a big jet would. So I'm going to break a few rules this evening. Okay, APU on. So hold it on for a few seconds, and you'll see the temperature coming up. If we go outside, okay, so APU is now at 100%, so we can remove the external power. The APU generator is right here, it's already on. So external power off, we'll go in the tablet, and we will remove the GPU from, well, that's closed the door, it hasn't removed it away from the aeroplane. There we go. It's interesting that they don't stop you closing the door if it's connected, if that makes any sense. That's just me being a dogmatic kind of software developer type person. Okay, let's go and get our clearance, and then we can start programming in the rest of our bits and pieces. So back over to say intentions. We're going to go to clearance at Stansted. We are virtual 073 this evening, so let's try it out. Stansted clearance, virtual 073 requesting clearance to Edinburgh as filed.
Virtual 073, clear to Edinburgh via the Barkway 6 Romeo departure runway 22. Initial climb 4000, squawk 4436.
Clear to Edinburgh via the Barkway 6 Romeo departure runway 22. Initial climb 4000, squawk 4436, virtual 073. So let's go and see how we put a squawk in.
Virtual 073, read back correct. Contact ground on 121.73 when ready.
I will admit I hadn't looked for this previously, so where do we do the transponder? That's a really good question, actually.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome aboard this flight operated by Sovereign Airlines, flight number 3200, bound for Edinburgh. On behalf of myself, Caroline Reid, and my colleagues, we are pleased to have you with us today. Please take your seats as indicated on your boarding passes and ensure your hand luggage is stowed securely, either in the overhead compartment or beneath the seat in front of you. Should you require any assistance, do not hesitate to ask any member of our crew. Thank you for your
initial climb was 4,000 feet, wasn't it? So let's take this out to 4. Whoops! Wow, that the altitude knob actually moves quickly. That's really nice to see. Although I presume I have to click it to go to hundreds. Yeah. Good to know. We'll initially go heading on the takeoff, and I'll set that to the same direction we're pointing, which is already 222 degrees, which is the same as the runway direction at Stansted. And then we'll play around with the modes on climb out. We're going to use VNAV, but I wonder if we can have, yes, we can have vertical speed and VNAV. That's good to know. So if we ask it for 2,000 feet a minute on vertical speed, but also have VNAV engaged, and we'll see if it drops vertical speed. We'll also have FMS mode on the speed. Flight director's already on, so that doesn't light up. That's interesting. And obviously, during the climb out, we'll switch over to nav mode. Okay. We will do pushback and engine start. Let's try it. So if we go to ground, Stansted ground, virtual 073 requesting pushback and engine start.
Virtual 073, push and start approved, face northwest.
Push and start approved, face northwest, virtual 073. So I don't think it's got a pushback function built into the aeroplane. I kind of wouldn't have expected it. So we're just going to press Alt and P, and that happens immediately. Look, interestingly, it took no notice of the parking brake.
Cabin attendants, arm doors and cross-check. Welcome aboard Sovereign Airlines Flight 3200 to Edinburgh. Estimated flight time is 55 minutes. Please pay close attention to the safety demonstration. Important even for frequent flyers. Fasten seatbelts low and tight. Keep them fastened when the seatbelt sign is on. Return seatbacks and tray tables upright.
So if we
open window blinds for takeoff and landing. Set mobile phones to flight mode. Stow laptops during
just out of interest then,
smoking and
if I cycle,
oxygen masks drop automatically.
Okay, so my brakes are working.
Hold mask firmly. Secure yours first, then assist others. Life vests are under your seat.
Oh, it's got low pressure, of course,
leaving the aircraft.
because the systems aren't up and running.
All exits clearly marked.
So if I go and now start the engines.
To rear. Nearest exit may be behind you. Leave belongings behind in evacuation. Follow
So
crew
watching the
instructions
N2 come up.
immediately. Inform crew if any device becomes hot or emits smoke. Safety card contains full details. Thank you
And
for your
then
attention.
select run and cover the So it seems to be coming up okay. Let's do the same for the other one. Just waiting for it to come through about 10%. I haven't looked at the details to see the proper percentages to do things yet. So we'll obviously find that out over the coming days and weeks. Right, I'm going to go and turn the aeroplane and the sounds down a bit now. Now you've had a good listen. Okay, so bus tie should close itself. Okay, that's come on now. I'm wondering why this hasn't powered up. Oh, we're rolling. That's because of that low pressure problem. Okay, so bus tie's come on and this still hasn't come on. Why is that? What have I missed? I'll have missed something. Okay, so we got APU valve is closed. Interesting, we didn't need the bleed air look to get the engines up and running. Okay, APU off. Let's just have a little look around, see if we've missed anything absolutely obvious. So we haven't got the pitot heats on yet. Let's go do that. We'll go and put the taxi light on. Recognition lights on. I won't put the anti-collision lights on just yet.
Ryanair 37 Hotel Romeo ready to taxi.
Control lock can come off.
Ryanair 37 Hotel Romeo, runway 22 taxi via E-West Echo Hotel Sierra.
And then flaps to take
Runway
off position.
via E-West
We need
Echo
to go
Hotel
and set
Sierra,
the
Ryanair
trim.
37 Hotel Romeo.
So I'm just setting the stab trim. So parking brake is on, no standby data. That's interesting.
Stansted ground, Channix 1322, with you, request taxi to the gate.
I've just locked the front wheel by accident.
Channix 1322, taxi to apron B, gate 31 via November Romeo, November Hotel, Bravo, Bravo East. Good day.
I'm going to get a pushback again. It shouldn't
Taxi to
hurt.
apron B, gate 31 via November Romeo, November Hotel, Bravo.
So I'll show you what I've just done from the outside. It's quite interesting. This, you have to be very careful taxiing this.
Bravo East, Channix 1322.
I'll have a look for the
Channix 1322, say again.
I'll have a look for the power for the display in a moment.
Taxi to apron B, gate 31 via November Romeo, November Hotel, Bravo, Bravo East, Channix 1322.
Okay, I'm just going to stick the parking brake back on for a moment. Yeah, look, it's got no pressure at the moment. Okay,
Ryanair
so
48 Yankee Alpha, runway 22 taxi via E-West Echo Hotel Sierra.
there it is. That was
Runway
the one I
22
missed.
taxi via E-West Echo
And we
Hotel
have power.
Sierra, Ryanair 48 Yankee Alpha.
Solving problems one at a time. Right, if I show you outside, yeah, look, I've done it again. I need to go and calibrate the nose wheel steering. Notice what I mean? You need to be really careful and slow right down. Otherwise you end up locking the gimbal on the nose wheel. Okay. We can now go and request taxi. Stansted ground, virtual 073 requesting taxi to runway 22.
Virtual 073, runway 22 taxi via Charlie West, Charlie Sierra.
Taxi via Charlie West, Charlie Sierra, virtual 073. So yeah, as I said right at the start, I'm still learning this just as everybody else is. I've had about an hour with it so far, most of which was eaten up with trying to figure out why it wouldn't load SimBrief, and I still haven't got to the bottom of that. Which is why in a way, it gave me the reason to go and play with programming a flight plan by hand, just to, you know, to work through it. Somebody with a different airfield scenery.
Virtual 073, contact tower on 123.805.
Contacting tower 123.805, virtual 073. Whoa. What happened then? Yeah, there's something odd going on with the nose wheel steering. I'll wait until I'm at hold point before I call tower. I'm just using Say Intentions on its own, I'm not using VATSIM.
Ground Ryanair 2 Tango Lima, taxi to the ramp.
Approaching runway 22.
What's the intentions now? So go to the tower. Stansted Tower, virtual 073, holding short runway 22.
Virtual 073, Stansted Tower, runway 22, hold short. You're number 1 behind the 737 MAX.
Holding short 22, virtual 073.
Virtual 073, runway 22, line up and wait, caution wake turbulence.
Line up and wait, runway 22, copy the wake turbulence, virtual 073.
Virtual 073, runway 22, line up and wait. Virtual 073, runway 22, winds 220 at 15, cleared for takeoff.
Clear for takeoff, runway 22, copy the weather, virtual 073. Before we do that, I just want to have a quick look around. So I'm not super confident that we'll have everything ready.
Runway 22 remaining. 8,008.
It's saying no takeoff because I got the parking brake on. Okay, let's go for it then. So if I throw the throttles all the way forwards, the FADEC system is saying TO for takeoff. It's a bit of a crosswind, but not too much. Gear up. So I pulled it back to maximum continuous thrust and just trimming it as we go. Autopilot on. So go to nav mode. Now I will need to be careful on the throttle as it hasn't got automatic throttles and we are dealing with constraints. So it's got 4,000.
Stansted radar on 120.625.
Contacting Stansted radar 120.625 virtual 073. Stansted radar virtual 073 departing runway 22 on the Barkway 6 Romeo departure.
Virtual 073, Stansted radar identified, climb 4,000.
Oh, we're going far too fast. Climbing 4,000, virtual 073. So there we go, that's a bit of an experience straight away.
12 o'clock, 3 miles at 3,737 max.
Copy traffic, virtual 073. So we just need to keep an eye on the power. And I forgot to calibrate the altimeter before we took off. It's always something. I like what it's doing with these little arrows. It gets it a little bit wrong now and again, but it's very cool.
Virtual 073, contact London Control on 121.03.
Contacting London Control 121.03, virtual 073. London Control, virtual 073 with you, departing Stansted on the Barkway 6 Romeo departure.
Virtual 073, London Control identified. Good afternoon, QNH 997 hectopascals.
QNH 997, virtual 073. I don't have to pick the weather to do these things, don't I? It's missed the turn quite badly, but then I'm going too fast again. I need to remember to keep an eye on the speed. There's too many pretty things to look at. So we'll be able to put in our altitude target in a moment when they give us clearance. Should be soon. Oh, they've already told us climb 220. I completely missed that in the middle of all the fun. Who are we talking to at the moment? London Control. London Control, virtual 073, climbing flight level 220. And we can click this to make it go faster, can't we? Yeah. So then go, it's on VNAV already, so we should be able to just, although we could use flight level change as well just to see how it works. So it's going to target an airspeed, isn't it? But it's using the FMS, which is why we've got VNAV there as well. I guess if we go manual it will drop VNAV, won't it? You've got quite a lot of leeway with it being maximum continuous thrust, look. It's colour coded, so when you get near the end of the throttle throws, the MCTs change colour. Watch, I'll do that again. So 95, 96% is about your maximum. We've obviously gone through the transition altitude, so let's change the baro over to standard on both screens.
Virtual 073, climb flight level 240.
Climbing flight level 240, virtual 073. So we'll just take that out to 240 instead. And coming through 10,000 feet, so landing lights can come off.
Dear guests, you may now use approved electronic devices in flight mode. We will begin.
And let's increase the range on the navigation display.
Thank you for flying with Sovereign Airlines.
I thought I turned the landing lights off. Oh, is that recognition? Interesting. Oh, so it does have auto throttles. Oh, so it does. Oh my word. Learn something new every day. Is it only one of them you have to do that with? But there's nothing up here about them being active, but there is here. Okay, so that is the single. Oh, this has become my favourite business jet now then. I thought it was going to be hard work if it didn't have auto throttles, but it does have auto throttles. Very cool. That makes my life a lot easier. So, in terms of the displays, let's just have a little play with this then while we're flying along.
Easy 18 Alpha Papa, radar contact.
Yeah, so you can have synthetic terrain, which is quite cool.
Virtual 073, climb flight level 320.
Climbing flight level 320, virtual 073. So yeah, as I said, I got into the aeroplane an hour before I went live, and I've only really sketched around looking at things. There's a lot to learn. It's really good. Just delving in, you know, through the systems is fantastic, really.
Scottish Control, Blue Max 6 Kilo Romeo, flight level 310.
Blue Max 6 Kilo Romeo, radar contact. Scandinavian 527 contact, Amsterdam radar on 118.805.
Very clever. So what can we do with charts then? Okay, so why can't it find any Edinburgh charts? And maybe this hasn't been implemented yet, I don't know. Because it works up here. Or I thought it did. Yeah, there they are. So we'll be coming in from Agped, dropping into Haven, and then into Edinburgh, or Tartan, sorry, and then into Edinburgh. So we'll be going in T4, so we'll be going out over the Firth of Forth, and then turning in. It's interesting, your test throttle's going over 100%, look. It's right on the limit. Yeah, that really is close, isn't it? A bit closer than you'd want. 1,000 foot away. We're going to see them, aren't we? Just coming past us.
118.805 for Channel 72 Alpha Romeo. Good day.
118.805.
Dear guests, we will now begin our snacking beverage service. Today, we are pleased to offer our popular Sovereign Airlines signature tea and freshly baked following the service, selected items from the Sovereign Airlines shop available for you.
Surprised we didn't see them.
Thank you for your attention.
Does this have random failures? I don't know. I did check earlier, most of the breakers work. So...
Scottish Control, Speedbird 187, flight level 380.
Speedbird 187, radar contact. Scandinavian 527 contact Amsterdam radar on 118.805.
118.805 Scandinavian 527.
yeah, I don't know if it has got any failures yet. How does it compare with the stock longitude? It kind of beats it into the floor. Into pieces. It's very, very good. The level of simulation going on is way better than anything I've seen elsewhere. But I am going to go and write a functional procedure up to make sure I don't miss things on takeoff. Obviously, it's got checklists built in, which are great. It's also got them built into here. So, yeah, here we go, look. So you can then use the buttons to check things. So it probably makes sense to so you can go through when when you're getting the airplane ready. We could have been doing this. It's very cool though, isn't it? So TCAS is operating in TARA mode, ADS-B is working, which is why we're seeing traffic. Presumably we can control how TCAS is behaving. Oh, here we go, look. So a second click on traffic gives you the configuration. Obviously, we can play games with flicking the range to the right, and then we can change the the screen that we're controlling with the knob. We're still only doing 180 knots, so that's using the FMS speeds. That's because that's what we programmed, wasn't it? Of course. Let's go and put the speed to manual and take it out to 280.
Jonathan, would you or the first officer care for a drink or a small snack at this time?
We're good, thank you.
Traffic.
Understood, Captain. Standing by if you need anything further.
So somebody crossing our bow 4 miles in front of us.
Virtual 073, traffic at your 12 o'clock, 4 miles, at flight level 300 A319.
Copy traffic, we have visuals. Virtual 073. Put the head tracking on, then we can see things a bit more easily.
Virtual 073, expect the AGP 1 Echo arrival. Expect to descend in about 15 minutes. Notify if you're ready to descend before that.
Expecting to descend in about 15 minutes. We'll get in touch at the time. Virtual 073. So, what do I think of it compared to the others? I think this is massively better than any of the other glass cockpit business jets in the sim so far. But this is based on me having flown it for half an hour and messed around with it for an hour before that and still learning. but the level of simulation going on here is better than a lot of the others. All this stuff works. For example, I'm not going to meddle with it and mess the aeroplane up because I don't know how to dig myself out of holes. But if we go, for example, yeah, just looking at the that's interesting, we can do tours in here, but I was just going to say though, just looking at the aircraft systems, for example, and being able to pull all the data up, it's very cool. So in terms of the flight plan, do we get a burn down chart anywhere? It's worth saying these are independent and you can use them happily, you know, for in concert with each other. It's interesting, you don't get any projections then, as you would with a commercial airliner. This is really cool. So we've basically got a database with all of the information about all the airports in it that's accessible directly in here. So if you wanted to look up an airport, for example, so Edinburgh, we could go for the weather at Edinburgh directly in the aeroplane look. That's really nice. And lengths of runways, procedures. We can preview this procedure into Edinburgh. I like that. So we've also got the frequencies for the ILS. They've really gone to town on this, haven't they? I'm just wondering why this is not listing any charts.
Shamrock 65 Tango, descend and maintain flight level 210, cleared for the Vatry 4 Lima arrival into Dublin.
Leaving for flight level 210, cleared for the Vatry 4 Lima arrival into Dublin, Shamrock 65 Tango.
Yeah, I haven't programmed in the CPDLC for say intentions on this aeroplane yet. I need to put the there's a token you need to put into the EFB to make it work. So you would come into here and you need to put the API key in. I haven't done it. Just going to say I'll be turning, and we are. Just being nosy now, looking around the aeroplane to see what other options we've got that we can play with. So a lot of these dials and switches were in their default, correct positions before we started. I didn't have to do a lot in terms of getting things ready. Most of it was done for me. You can turn the cabin Wi-Fi off, that's quite amusing. Yeah, I am quite surprised though that it hasn't got any kind of predicted burn down as like a progress display. Maybe that is the realm of the big the big commercial carriers more, the A320s and 73s of this world and not the business jets. It's going to be interesting to work through the procedures of which, I guess this is where I can crib from the professional pilots, of which modes they use and how they configure for the different phases of flight. Because obviously there's no right or wrong way really, but there's the professional way of doing it and the less professional way of doing it. In terms of, which modes you use in which situations. Should we go and increase the range on the co-pilot display? Bring this one down a bit. Oh, of course, this gives you your numbers. Of course it does. There's me looking for it in the flight plan, but it's across the top of the display. I think this is the Garmin 5000 system. So it gives you all of your numbers. Look, ground speed, direction of track, estimated time en route, thus to your next waypoint, bearing, distance, estimated time of arrival, and landing time.
Greenstone 45 Foxtrot, descend and maintain flight level 120.
I'm just looking for click spots to see what's been implemented and what hasn't. So that will put the tablet away if we click down there. That's quite cool. We can simulate having a headset on. So presumably, if the APU bleed air is for pressurization purposes, because we've spun the engines up without it, I wonder... Oh, we had external power though, didn't we? Maybe you absolutely need that if you don't have external power because the batteries won't be enough.
Virtual 073, contact London Control on 133.6.
Contacting London Control 133.6, Virtual 073, good day. London Control, Virtual 073 with you at flight level 320.
Virtual 073, London Control identified. Good evening.
So, someone in the live stream is asking, can we have a look through the system pages again? Yeah, there's lots. So we saw there's a summary which gives you, obviously there's a lot more when you're on the ground on the summary page, by the way. Hydraulics, fuel, electrical, it's all live data, by the way. We got system tests which we obviously did while we were on the ground. Cabin management, so you can play around with all sorts of things there as well. Exterior lights, temperature management, propulsion, just the FADEC master control panel basically, and cabin pressurization. It's very cool, isn't it? So I've not looked in weather yet. I presume that's just a weather radar. Can we... yeah, we can press it a second time, look. So we can compare where... so we're getting this from radar. So presumably, while looking at weather, we can increase the... yeah, we can increase the range on it, look.
Contact Scottish Control on 128.055.
And then, well, sorry, that's the digital weather system, obviously. Contacting Scottish Control 128.055, Virtual 073. Scottish Control, Virtual 073 with you, flight level 320. So we've got top of descent coming up fairly soon, so we'll have to keep an eye on that.
Virtual 073, Scottish Control identified. Good evening.
So weather radar, turn it on, see what happens. Let's increase the range on it. And there it is. So the weather radar works as well then. We'll turn it back off. The reason being we don't actually need it because we've got a data connection, therefore we can get the current meteorological data over the whole map instead of just what's right in front of us. It's pretty cool, isn't it? Turn it back off for me. I think you can even control in here. I think I saw it.
Virtual 073, descend via AGP 1 Echo to flight level 070 into Edinburgh.
Descend via the AGPE 1 Echo to flight level 070 into Edinburgh, Virtual 073. So they're telling us to come down now, basically. Although they're saying on the procedure. If we go and I'll show you what they're talking about. If we go and import from SimBrief, and there's our flight plan, and we show the AGPED. Let's go and put ILS24 into here as well. So there's where the 7,000 feet is. That's the end of the star. We're just coming in towards it. I guess we should come down fairly early because we don't know how the airplane's going to behave. So we'll go and choose 7,000 feet and we'll go for VNAV and see what happens. So there's 7,000. See, now VNAV won't descend until it has to, will it? So I've just switched over to FMS mode, and look what it's doing. So it's bringing the speed back down. That's because we went and programmed a crazy low speed in. I'm going to take this back up again. Yeah, look, it's we put in 180 in the FMS.
London Control, Blue Max 20 Echo Delta, flight level 220.
So you can see the RPM coming back up.
Blue Max 20 Echo Delta, radar contact.
This is very much a test flight for me tonight. Right, we're coming up to top of descent. We really do need to get on with this. So VNAV with flight level change. It's gone immediately for 245 knots, which is interesting.
Our approach to Edinburgh. Please return to your seats, stow your tables, fasten your seatbelts, and note that the use of lavatories is no longer permitted at this time. Thank you for your cooperation.
So we'll need to find out. Actually, we don't need to go to Navigraph in this airplane, do we? We want the Barrow at Edinburgh. So on the second screen over here, there's nothing to stop us going to waypoint info, airports, Edinburgh, weather, and there we go. 986 hectopascals. And 16 degrees. Yeah, this is interesting because watch, if I turn these on, I just saw the live stream comment about this. Look what happens. So there's obviously some circuit logic to learn. And we're on our way down. So we just need to be 7,000 feet by tartan, and then we come in runway 24. Did we? I don't think we've programmed, or this isn't, at least this isn't rendering it, the approach, is it? So let's go and look at that and make sure it's in there. That's better. So it will have introduced a discontinuity, I would imagine. Oh, yeah, it wants vectors. It did mention it, didn't it? So you've got vectors for approach. So when we get to tartan, we turn away. We'll probably get vectors anyway and have to go to heading mode. So it's holding us at 26,000 feet. That will be VNAV kicking in. There you go, look. So that's working. VNAV works. It's also holding 250 knots because of Haven. So it's given us 5 knot leeway. So as we come through Agped, it should start descending further. We've still got the weather display on, haven't we? Should we put that back on the normal map? And bring the range down a bit.
Blue Max 20 Echo Delta contact, London Control on 121.23.
121.23 for Blue Max 20 Echo Delta.
Okay, so we're now descending again. Now we've come through Agped. So I think next constraint, yeah, is just Tartan. And then we're just swinging out for the approach. But I will imagine we'll get vectors at that point. If not, we'll ask for them. It's great fun, isn't it? So yeah, I was a little bit rough and ready with getting the aeroplane ready to fly and into the air. Obviously I didn't know about the auto throttles, which was a pleasant surprise. It saved me a lot of work. I mean, I would have been happy flying without the auto throttles, but it means I get to look at other things and not have to manage the aeroplane quite so closely. It's a shame they've not let this have a little bit more functionality. I know I'm kind of pushing it, you know, with what I'm asking for here, especially as the flight page has charts. So all the winds aloft at the different altitudes along the route. That's just from the OFP, they've borrowed it basically. Okay, we've got some aircraft in front of us. This does have synthetic vision. I think I showed it earlier. So you can go to PFD settings. Did I press the wrong button? Yeah, PFD settings. Synthetic terrain, there you go. So even when it's horrible weather outside, you can see the ground if you really want to. So yeah, Lenny is agreeing with me. It's mightily impressive, isn't it? There's a lot to learn though, I think, in terms of operating it properly and setting the airplane up properly at the start of a flight and doing things in the right order. Because I kind of found my way with it this evening, but it was more luck than judgment. There's going to be a more professional path than I took. It's very cool though. Do we get a chart anywhere showing us our position relative to the VNAV profile? I'm not sure that we do.
Virtual 073, contact Edinburgh approach on 121.205.
Contacting Edinburgh approach 121.205, virtual 073, good day. Edinburgh approach, virtual 073 with you, descending on the Agped, arrival into Edinburgh, descending 7,000 feet.
Virtual 073, Edinburgh approach identified. Good evening. Expect the ILS runway 24 approach into Edinburgh and confirm you have information Quebec.
Confirming we have information Quebec, expecting ILS runway 24 into Edinburgh, virtual 073.
Virtual 073, identified. Good evening.
So we just let the descent happen. I'm watching it like a hawk because I've never flown it. I don't know if it's going to work. We've got a bank button. I don't know if that means less bank or more bank. I'm imagining it means half bank. There we go. So it has got approach mode.
Virtual 073, contact Scottish Control on 133.2.
Contacting Scottish Control 133.2, virtual 073. Good day. Scottish Control, virtual 073 with you, descending to 7,000 feet on the AGPED arrival into Edinburgh, expecting ILS runway 24.
Virtual 073, Scottish Control identified. Good evening.
So I'm going to go check the radios for ILS, make sure it's all correct. So 108.9, 240 degrees. Obviously we're using FMS mode at the moment. It doesn't, I don't think it has a way of letting you set the course. I'd have to have a read about that. Various aeroplanes have a way of doing that, where you can press a button that lets you preview radio without switching modes on the guidance system. So obviously once we turn towards Edinburgh, we'll need to get the course for the ILS wired up to 240 degrees. So Ryan's appeared and is asking, what's the report on the Cessna Citation Sovereign? It's very, very good. Super impressive.
Virtual 073, turn right heading 050 vectors for the ILS runway 24.
Yeah, they're giving us vectors then. Let's just repeat them back. Turning right 050 vectors for the ILS runway 24 approach, virtual 073. So heading mode and turn right to 050 degrees. So, this gives us our opportunity. We are no longer using the GPS flight plan. So we can switch the FMS mode over to localizer and we can get this set up for the runway. So that was 240 degrees. Can we just hold the mouse down? There we go. So I'm bringing the course round to 240, which is almost the opposite direction. Obviously we are going reciprocal, which makes sense. So ILS is already picking up the localizer look, even though we're a few miles to the, or adjacent to it, it's over there.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are now beginning our final approach into Edinburgh. Please ensure all electronic
Down below 10,000 feet now, landing lights on.
Kindly put your tray tables away, return your seats to their full upright position, and fasten your seatbelts. Colleagues, please confirm that all passengers are seated with seatbelts fastened. Whether in Edinburgh or clear command positions, our assigned parking is Turnhouse Apron Stand 316. Thank you for your attention.
So if I show you where we are on a map, it'll make a bit more sense what's going on. That would have been the normal route. They've turned us away before we got to Tartan. So we would have come through Tartan at 7,000 and carried on down. We'll get descent instructions for 3,000, I would imagine, soon. And we'll get told to turn probably a diamond shape. It usually does. So I wouldn't be surprised if we get something like this. We'll see. So we're holding 7,000 feet. Or just approaching 7,000. It should capture and go Alt S. You can see there it goes.
Virtual 073, turn left heading 020.
Turning left heading 020, virtual 073. Maybe they're doing a bit sharper angle. So if we draw that on here, maybe they're going to do that. I don't know. We'll find out, won't we? Funny, I always forget to turn on the head tracking when I'm looking at the avionics. These hills in Scotland are awesome, aren't they? Just south of Edinburgh. I think it's the Eildon Hills. So you've got Selkirk and Galashiels and several other places. Have a look on the map. So yeah, there's Selkirk and Galashiels, so we just flew past Galashiels then. If you've seen the movie I Swear, you'll have seen Galashiels.
Virtual 073, turn right heading 055.
Turning right heading 055, virtual 073. I'm going to turn the head tracking off. Whoops. Do you know what? Something that the only minor thing that I've got a bit of a problem with this aeroplane is I'm going to show you the built-in views. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 0. Why did they do that? So I've set up custom views ready to write my own instructions. Alt 1, 2, 3, 5. I obviously haven't set 4 yet. And 6. And that's pretty much all you need to be able to do everything. So what do I think about the longitude? There's several longitudes, aren't there? Do you mean the stock one or the custom one? Can we descend yet? So they're sending us, we are on the reciprocal now, look. So I bet they'll do a 45-degree turn and then another one. Is there much traffic around? I didn't see any. No. Why are we being sent out over the coast? Let's see if we can force the hand of the controllers. Are we talking to Scottish Control still, yeah? Scottish Control, Virtual 073 requesting vectors for straight in, runway 24 at Edinburgh.
Virtual 073, descend altitude 4,000 feet, turn left heading 275, speed below 210 knots.
Descend 4,000, turn left 215, speed below 210 knots, Virtual 073. So here we go. Just kind of gave them a bit of a kick. So altitude and flight level change down to the altitude, turn left 215. That makes no sense. That would have been turn right 215. They've made a bit of a mistake there, haven't they? I'm going to ignore what they said. I know it's a bit naughty, but we're going to do that. We're going to go direct CI24.
Sorry about that. Descend altitude 4,000 feet, turn left heading 265 vectors for the ILS runway 24 approach.
That's cool. Turning left 265 vectors for the ILS runway 24, Virtual 073. So the controller made a mistake and then corrected it. That's awesome. That's new. I've not seen Say Intentions do that before. Let me just check the heading he gave us, 265. Okay, so it's the further fourth, which we're just whistling in towards. The weather doesn't look great, does it? We're down to 4,000 feet nearly. We can start winding the speed in soon. We're over here. I'm guessing, can we not go direct CI24? Let's do it, see what happens. So then we would need to change the mode here, wouldn't we, to FMS mode. And if we look at the flight plan...
Virtual 073, 24 miles from FI24, turn left heading 260, descend altitude 3,000 feet until established on the localizer, cleared for the ILS runway 24 approach.
24 miles from FI24, turn left heading 260, descend altitude 3000 until established on the localizer. Cleared for ILS, runway 24 approach, virtual 073. So he's pretty much said exactly the same thing we were already planning to do. So we'll carry on the route we're going and descend 3000. And we'll start bringing the speed down. We don't want to be going this fast on approach. Obviously it's lifting the nose to get rid of the speed. Just go and double check the radio frequencies. 108.9 is correct for the ILS. We're still a little way out, so we won't pick it up just yet. I'm guessing we get the normal markers around the edge of the primary flight display for the ILS. Not seen it yet, so we'll find out. Oh, we've got the barrow wrong, haven't we? Let's go do that. .983, but in inches 2903, so it's not far out, he says. Landing lights on. Heating's on. I don't know if we need to deal with anything else. Do we get an outside air temperature showing up anywhere? Oh, I think we should be okay. Here comes the glide slope. So we're using heading mode at the moment, so we can afford to switch this back and see the localizer. It's already all set up. So we'll try and see if this captures. If I go to nav and use approach mode and see if it all works, it should do. Famous last words, of course. And then we'll just manage the speed on the way in and bring the flaps in. Okay, so nav mode, way up, nav mode. It's going to be a bit late because I didn't manage to click on it because of this silly border area in 2024. So it's going to have to correct itself slightly. We should see the glide slope come down sometime soon. I think it's on the move right now. Did they tell us to actually change frequencies? No. Scottish Control, Virtual 073 engaged on the localizer, runway 24 at Edinburgh. They should hand us off to the tower. Let's get the speed down while we have the opportunity. Bring the range down on the navigation display. There's the runway. And here comes the glide slope at last. So let's engage approach mode and see if it works. Not sure what the flap speeds are. We can certainly find out. We'll see a barber pole pop up if we get it wrong. No, we're okay.
Virtual 073, contact Edinburgh Tower on 118.705.
Contacting Edinburgh Tower, 118.705, virtual 073, good day. Edinburgh Tower, virtual 073 with you, 3,000 feet, descending on the ILS for runway 24.
Virtual 073, Edinburgh Tower, roger, continue approach, runway 24.
Continuing approach, runway 24, virtual 073. So, because we've come into the ILS from underneath, it should capture and start descending all on its own. And there it goes. We'll now bring the speed down. Has this got flap speeds in the tablet?
Runway 24, winds 240 at 5, clear to land.
Clear to land, runway 24, copy the weather, virtual 073. Let's have a look. It'd be in the performance data, wouldn't it? Speed bugs, flap speeds, here we go. Flaps 2, 122 knots, okay. So flaps 1 was 190. So I've oversped the flaps a little bit. Okay, let's get the speed right down. There's the runway directly in front of us. Do you know what? I'm going to disengage everything and fly it in. Otherwise, you never learn. Autopilot off. Give the wings a waggle. It's me. Just killed the auto throttle. Presumably, I've killed the auto throttle. Okay, gear down. .150 knots, we can go flaps 2.
Approaching runway 24.
Cool, the weather's a bit bumpy. What was the speed for flaps 3? 140 for full flaps, there we go. That's easy then. Glide slope's good at the moment. Oh, we're dropping low. Let's get the power on.
Glide slope. Glide slope.
That's fairly turbulent. That's not me rolling around. That's the wind pushing us around.
200. Glide slope. Glide slope.
I'm far too low. but we're visual anyway, so we're okay.
Glide slope. Glide slope. 50. 40. 30. 20. 10.
Okay, reverses. Very cool. So it's got spoilers along the leading, or the trailing edge, I should say.
Virtual 073, exit at Bravo is able. Contact ground on 121.755.
Exit at Bravo, contact ground 121.755, virtual 073.
Largest Arts Festival, the Edinburgh Festival Fringe. Please remain seated with your seatbelts fastened until we have reached the final parking position. On behalf of your flight crew, thank you for flying with Sovereign Airlines. The current local time in Edinburgh is 5:53 p.m.
Okay, so let's just get it off the runway, then turn some of the lights off. Taxi lights on. Whoa, I've just done the classic trick with the nose gear again. I need to be so careful of that.
Approaching runway 6.
The anti-collision lights can come off as well. I think I'm going to get told off scrubbing the bulb patches into the front tyres. So what's the maximum flight range? I have no idea. I'm sure you can Google it and find out. Was I supposed to contact ground? I was, wasn't I? Edinburgh ground, virtual 073, taxiing towards the terminals. Hopefully they won't take that as being a bit too forward.
Virtual 073, Edinburgh ground, taxi to Turnhouse apron stand 316 via Alpha, Bravo and Charlie.
Let's go and taxi to Turnhouse apron stand 316 via Alpha, Bravo and Charlie. Virtual 073. Let's go and behave ourselves, shall we, and have a look and see where that is. So Alpha. Bravo and Charlie. Where? There's Charlie. Turnhouse stand 316. This is making no sense to me. Let's see if we can get a better chart. Airports, charts, taxi. There is no Bravo. I wonder if this is going to be one of those issues where the simulator is labelled slightly different than the real place. Let's go and have a look on little nav map and zoom in, because this will be read from the simulator. Alpha. I don't know where they're talking about. Anyway, I'm just going to go and find somewhere to park. They won't mind. Hopefully. I think the business jets are down the far end. Because this is all commercial traffic. See what I mean? I think we're down there. There's quite a lot of parking down this end, isn't there? Maybe we'll go there. You have to avoid this guy first, though. Oh, there's some parking. Noisy so-and-so. I've never been to this part of the airfield before, actually. Yeah, we'll go and park over there. Out of the way. Park. Is that an ATR over there? Something like that, isn't it? Oh, actually, this looks like the right place where we should have been, looking at the type of aeroplanes over here. Basically, away from all of the commercial traffic. Okay, we survived. So now we have to figure out how to shut the aeroplane down, which I have no idea about. And presumably we just turn the engines off. Would be good. I wonder if we can put an APU, external power in first. Let's go to services and access. Open the door for the APU. He says, famous last words, there we go. And then go to ground, and then connect the ground power unit. Then come over to the panel and switch to ground power, because we'll lose electric power from the engines obviously as soon as they shut down. So then open the cover and shut the engines down. Don't you love automation when it works? Oops. Okay. I'm just watching to see what's coming up on the ECAM screen to see what, or sorry, CAS, to see what it's going to complain about. No, we've not got the engines running. So having done that, we should just be able to turn things off pretty much in a hurry. So if we turn the ground power back off, or I guess the correct order would be to switch it off here, disconnect it, get the door closed, and then just turn the batteries off.
GPWS system failure.
Okay, let's go and play with the doors. Is this all clickable? I've not even tried this yet. So you have to release the lock first. Oh, I should have put the control lock back on, shouldn't I? There we go. So, hopefully you enjoyed that today. I'm just going to turn the Xbox controller back on. We'll have another little look around the aeroplane while we're here. So I was learning at the same time as everybody else was. So yeah, very first flight with the aeroplane after an hour of scratching around in the cockpit trying to kind of find my feet with it. Obviously, as I said during the flight, that there were a lot of obviously procedural things I did wrong, but you know, that's how we learn. And I'll obviously write up a checklist and we'll be better next time. But it's really good though, isn't it?
Ryanair 77 Sierra Yankee ready to taxi.
Ryanair 77 Sierra Yankee runway 24
just
taxi
out of interest,
Foxtrot
how
Alpha
far
Delta.
have they taken this?
Runway 24 taxi via Foxtrot Alpha Delta Ryanair 77 Sierra Yankee.
That's just the wind whistling through the engine, isn't it? Okay, right, I'm going to leave it there for the evening. That was, if you get the view in a nice place, that was the Skyward Simulations Cessna Citation Sovereign Plus in Flight Simulator 2024. We flew from Stansted to Edinburgh to try it out. I'll be back in it again very soon. See you all again soon. Take care.